Hello everybody, welcome back to Drop Duchy. We are in the depths of our endless run where we have our belfry making units with 1 axe for every 5 in our inventory. We have 5,329 in said inventory, and we have 2 veteran halls which are getting 30% of the number of people recruited last round, and a blacksmith that is getting the copy resources and or gained from 3 random buildings. So hostile region, 556 units. How quickly are these things going to scale? We could take more buildings out with us, but basically we don't need to unless there's anything we really wanted to upgrade specifically. And most of our stuff is at 3 already, especially most of our passives. We could try for 70 wheat to increase scavengers, but like we don't really need to. We'll get some wheat from the fields that we play. So watchtower, recruit 3 and 5 for each in range. Garrison 139. So we just have to build the things we want to see in the correct manner. Adjacent plains and such. Let's do that there. Put a forest around it. We'll stick this in here. Right, you are penned in by forest, which is great. There's our belfry. Now we need to get the belfry, the 2 veterans halls, and the blacksmith to all cooperate with one another. It's hard to do that and keep building our citizens by building this next to a neighborhood. So I'm going to stick that there. Let's change the shape of this. And we can put that in there. Now, Veterans Hall with 1,535 units. That can go here. Then the blacksmith just has to go in that gap. Recruit 3 and 5 for each plain and field. We can stick that down there. Let's get a little triplicate running there. Right, we need to hold the Veterans Hall until we can find the blacksmith. So let's change the shape of this. That can go over here quite comfortably. We'll take the gap there. This range is humongous. Range of 4 is why that's worse for the player. Right, I'm going to put this here and downtown there, which will join up this to the rest. There's our blacksmith that we've been waiting on. Let's just put that there. This can go over here. Change the shape of that. You can join that up there. Blacksmith in the gap. Veterans Hall. Let's go. We go here. We can put that L piece in there, or the Z piece, but I'll do that. So this blacksmith is now touching these 3 buildings. Let's put that down there. I don't want this to be in spaces that downtown is going to convert stuff anyway. So let's put that there. That can go there. This can fill that gap. Fill that gap there. Let's change the shape of this. That doesn't help me. All right, now we get the big combo. So, at the end of this fight, the blacksmith has 4,349 units, and the veterans' halls are going to get 30% of that value next time. So I'm hoping that this continues to scale itself up very large over time. Now, we got 28,000 gold. I don't need to be precious about how we attack our enemies right now. That might change as their numbers increase. But 8,000 spare armies. And we still have some rerolls. We're basically just looking for passives. Sure, I'm going to take this, just because then the passives I believe can't appear multiple times, so we shouldn't see it again. So we went from something like 560 or 640 to 724. But we can't scroll up into the endless to see how much more it's going to grow. But these guys should be bigger. Increase your base health by 20. Then we can increase that. Wooden Fortress. Garrison 181. Turn each forest into a plain and recruit 5. Raider colonies. Transform adjacent forests and rivers into wastelands and lose 5. Nothing to be worried about there. We'll stick that down. That's no bother. Right. I'm gonna hold that till later. That's a bad shape. No, it's not. It's fine. It's okay-ish. Can I T-spin this down here? Yeah, I can. Alright, we got the belfry incoming. We could put downtown underneath it. Maybe. But I'm not going to overcomplicate things here. Okay, this is great. There's the Veterans Hall. Downtown is going to have to just go somewhere over here. It's not huge gains, but it's something. There's a blacksmith. I can't see how many enemy buildings there are coming anymore. This 5 doesn't tell me the stats that remain, which is weird. But that's 4 enemy buildings done, so I don't have to worry about utilizing this empty space too much. I can get some stuff in here. Alright, well, we need the Veterans Hall to touch the blacksmith. That's the most important part. Right, 4,718 on there this time. I should really try and keep an accurate running number of that in my head to make sure it's growing sufficiently. Clearing is fine. And then we went from 740-ish to 940. An extra 200. Yeah, so last time we recruited 6,000. Garrison's in the hundreds, but recruit 6 for each building in range 3. Shouldn't be a problem. As for upgrades, we can do scavengers. That's fine. Right. Get a rally point down. Ah, fields. Even more fields. This guy is just going to get big, and I can see that that's how that's going to happen, and I'm fine with that. 10 for each empty square on the border. This will be fine. Let's go. You on that side. You there. Just how are we going to arrange these veterans halls and stuff for the blacksmith in a moment is the important part. Right, I'm going to go veteran hall there. Veteran hall there. I'm going to send that down the gap. There's the blacksmith. So, blacksmith right here. Belfry on top. Unfortunately, we don't touch the rest of this, but sometimes sacrifices have to be made. That gives us the wrong shape of L, which is a shame. $4,981. And 9,000 units spare. I need to pick one of these numbers to focus on. I keep changing how I perceive the results, and it's not doing me any favors. We're not taking warehouses in with us right now, so who cares? Upgrade that. 1,223 units. How deep can we go? Training camp, send 18 to each aligned military building aligned orthogonally or diagonally. Okay. Now I can see the left in deck. It's a weird hiccup before, I guess. Very early belfry. I'll just hold that for now. I'm just not going to worry about the existence of this thing. There's basically no getting away from that either. We've got to be getting towards the things we need soon, right? I can do belfry here, veterans hall, blacksmith, veterans hall. Is the hope, at least. Downtown can go here. Veterans Hall, Blacksmith, Veterans Hall. There's the blacksmith. Get even more citizens for ourselves. And then watch our little stat dance. 5,200 on the blacksmith. $9,300 spare. Right, so that was like 1,200 something. 1,590. Castle. If it spawns less than 2 squares, remove 50% from the castle. Mighty garrison. Jousting ground, another castle, and a merc camp. I got no fear. Maybe I should, but I don't. Early blacksmith could be tricky to navigate around. But we can reserve it for now. Let's do Belfry. Blacksmith. You there. Take the line. This one's less than 2. You'd have to have it in a perfectly filled pit then. Oh, but you're noble, you're going to fill in the gap as well. So we can do this. No, because there was that one. There was that one. It'll be fine. This gap has to be left open for the other Veterans Hall, so we can put that there. Let's stick this down here. Then we can transform some of the ones that it makes. Keep that growing. There's the other Veterans Hall. The jousting ground cannot be rotated, which is going to be interesting. I don't have a great deal of room for a lot of this stuff. But I do want to make sure I play this because I don't want to take 398 damage if I don't play it, which I feel I'm at risk of. Right, 5,005. More gold than we could possibly ever know what to do with. Chivalry, sure. 2,000 units. Okay, these are getting bigger now. Wooden fortresses and ranger bases. Early Veterans Hall. Alright, we can... stick that in here. Alright, now we really got to hope that we get the other two buildings that we need fairly sharpish, basically. Downtown, not one of those buildings. But fits in here nicely. There's the other buildings we need. So, Veterans Hall there. You can have a little from some forests, that's fine. You go in the gap. I can't get that to touch that, which is a shame. We're just giving this guy so many extra units, and I'm so not bothered. God, so many long pieces. Alright, Blacksmith, how you looking? 5,800. Right, I'm wondering if the number of enemies in Endless is now going to start going exponential. Shady deal. Sell this card to gain 60% of the gold you have in reserve and lose all of those. I don't need it. I just don't. Little tiny horse stable for nothing. End of round. Each military building adjacent to at least 3 of these gets 10. Sure. What if it was 15? Right, 2,688. 4 strongholds. Garrison, end of round, recruit 10 for each empty. Oh, but you've got range 2. Interesting, okay. But they're not noble. Shouldn't be a problem. Just park you in there like that. Park you in there like that. We got Belfry and Blacksmith coming in. There's a belfry. Where am I going to put this next stronghold is my current thought. Do that. Stick it there. This can go here. Then blacksmith can go here. There's Veterans Hall number 1. Right, this is going to get real cozy for a second. While we try keep all this stuff fitting. So we know where Veterans Hall number 2 is going to go. And we find it in good time, which is great. That can't go there. Oh dear. Oh dear. I need a 2 gap to get Veterans Hall through here. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is bad, because I think it's going to reset my progress on how big Veterans Halls are, which contributes to blacksmith. This is a real problem. That leaves a 1-gapper. That leaves a 1-gapper. Oh, this is terrible. Honestly, I should have realized that there's basically nowhere I can put any piece that fits this gap then. Oh. Fine. I concede it's not going to happen here. Oh, now it's all come crumbling down. So, our blacksmith is only going to be like 4,000 rather than 5. And that's going to slow down all of our progress, I think. These are all arrows, so we should use the swords. Because now in the next round, the Veterans Halls are going to be smaller. They were 5,460. I don't know if the number's now going to change. No, it's still 5,460. I guess we hadn't seen the live update. 3,500 though is really getting on for some much bigger stuff. Strategic Pavilion, Watchtower, Stronghold, Rally Point. I should also think about maybe changing my star sign, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. Blacksmith we have to hold for a while. We can do that there. We can do that there. We can do that there, and then the other one's just going to go on top. That should be easier for us to maintain in the long term. Because this is higher up, it's easier to get to that piece. We could also do something like that. This is fine. This is their last building coming in. Each military building in range. How about none? Alright. How is our blacksmith doing? Yeah, we've slowed down our progress by having a bad round last round. Basically. Our leftover units, 6,800. We could reroll till the cows come home. We are actually making some fields now. So this was like 3,300 enemies or something. 4,500. Okay, we are scaling fast now. We are scaling fast. Mighty garrison, 1,100. Transform this, lose 5. Basically inconsequential. That's going to make you stronger, though. Right now, not really my concern. Right, we've got a veterans hall to think about. Where's downtown gonna go? Great question. That will do. Right, I have to commit to something here. How am I going to commit to the geometry of the blacksmith? Oh, that's a great question. I guess I can do this and that on top. That'll be okay, I think. That goes on top. Then we need to make sure this is one higher. So I'll do this awkwardly. Shame all of this doesn't touch that, but not tons I can do about it now. Oh, I never played this rally point. I definitely should. I don't want that to come back to bite me. 5666 on the blacksmith. 6,000 units to spare. We got 613 extra gold. We're now in the 6-figure club. Take a reliquary. 6,000 units. Castle 1,500. Let's come over and look at this. So Corvus has been nice. Destroy the terrain piece. Remove 50% of the starting garrison from the enemy building. Transform the enemy building into the last placed enemy building. Keep the same garrison. I guess we'll try this. It may be the difference maker when we're looking at a garrison of 1,500, you know? We've got to charge 20 points into it first, though. Which is going to take a hot second. This is just a regular one, so we don't get bonuses for screwing this guy's day over. There's the one we want to screw with. If I put that there, the castle's going to grow. I can still do that. Put that there. I'll put that there. Alright, we got all of our buildings really, really close together, and I'm all for it. Here or here? Let's do here. Honestly, downtown is so infrequently great for us. It might be worth just not bringing it in with us at some point. Right, so remove 50%. So F, and then play that here, and it will half again. Way easier to deal with. Alright, that's gone pretty well. 6,000 swords on the blacksmith now. Swords are strong against axes, so let's do... Sorry, let's do that and that. Alright, 7,800 spare. $7,600. Was that 6,000 we just did? I can't scroll around on this screen to double check. Still 7,600. Our veterans halls have recruited 7,839. Are we going to take downtown out? It does mean we can keep growing the citizen population, which makes Belfry bigger, which makes Blacksmith bigger, which makes these guys bigger. So I guess we're going to keep it in. 4 strategic pavilions. Garrison of 2,000 basically each. Recruit 6 for each military building within range 3 or adjacent military building. I don't want to commit to the belfry yet, although we've got the blacksmith in play as well, so we're going to have to. Alright, here's belfry. Here's blacksmith. There's Veterans Hall number 1. That can go there. We can put Veterans Hall number 2 on top. Or we could do that and put it to the side. That can go in the long edge. You're in there. And then we just keep building efficiently. We're missing one enemy building that we haven't seen. There it is. Make sure we get that in play. Thank you for going where I wanted you to go. How's the blacksmith looking? Honestly, if I was offered a third Veterans Hall now, would it be better to have a third Veterans Hall contributing to this guy in like a loop? I'm uncertain, but all the swords, take out all the arrows. We can't have a second blacksmith because it's unique. How much is it? Is this going to be over 10k? 9981 is very close. Horse stable, barely worth worrying about. Training camps. These guys are recruited 8th, 325, 30% of. We've got F available. We can start with an... no, we won't start with an early Veterans Hall. That can go here. It's horizontal touching training camp. Alright, we've gone very tall on the left, and I'm okay with that. There's the belfry. Let's get the belfry in here. Then we can put that there. downtown in the gap. Then that's got to be the blacksmith, or that's got to be the blacksmith. Do it this way. Then I can put the long piece over. Right, I have to maintain a gap for Veterans Hall to move in through. Which is this. Horse stable in a row. Recruit 6 for each stable. Hold on. End of round. Recruit 6 for each square between horse stable and the closest building is row and column. Wow. Well, that can just go there. Not my worry anymore. Alright, nearly 7,000 on the blacksmith. Our axes take out swords efficiently. Then pick up our swords at the end. It's getting closer. It's getting a lot closer. Just because I can. Alright, that's an increase of 3,000 there. So it's getting real real close to being a problem, I think. Watchtower, rally point, thieves hideout. Lose this, then gain 20 for each building in range of 2. You are garrison 3,000, range 4. Okay. Let's get this down first so that we can have that in the gap. This watchtower, I think, can just go all the way down there. Surround it with wasteland. Bastion is noble, so I'm going to stick it over there. Two Veterans Halls coming in is a lot. We could do Veterans Hall. Yeah, blacksmith, go on the top. Thieves hideout down here. Belfry can just go here, and then we can wait to put the blacksmith in that little nook. Gotta find the blacksmith first. This can go on here. That's fine. The rally point's going to get stronger. There's very little I can do about that. I keep forgetting to use the power on F. Hopefully that doesn't screw me over in the long term. Blacksmith down. Get that down. Grow a bunch. Alright, how are we doing, blacksmith? 7,500. Swords goes for arrows and arrows. Then axes go for swords and axes. Alright, well, it's all swords. Only 2,000 spare units. That is not many. Alright, so that was like 9,975. This is probably going to be like 13 or 14,000. 17,000? Excuse me? Alright, well, this might be it. 2 supply lines, lose these and recruit 5 for each terrain in its row. Castle at 4,000 and a bastion at 4,000, recruit 6 for each plain in range noble. Okay. Alright, this I actually kind of like. We can do F on this. Half that. And then terrain in its row. Oh, you have range 2. Okay. I'm just wondering if I'm going to try and build the Veterans Hall stuff down here where this won't then get extra stuff. But that's a fine line to try and draw, not knowing when we're going to get the rest of our key components. You can join your friend there. Alright, now we kind of have to start building this construction, which is very scary. Let's start here. Then go blacksmith there. Then if I do that and that, I can't do that. I'd have to do this and put that there, which doesn't seem great either. Right, I'm just going to do that. This can go here. Then that veteran hall goes there. As long as I keep this 2x3 or even this 3x2 open, we'll have other options. There's the belfry. We're going to be fine. Castle, garrison, we can chop that in half. Lovely. This is their 4th building. This is going to get wider. So let's just do that last. Alright, how do the numbers shake out now? 7,800 swords. We don't have any arrows to take out these axes. But I can turn these axes into arrows. And drive 2, 4, 6, 8,000, 9,000 arrows into our swords. Okay. We get through that one. There's probably nothing we can find that is of benefit to us, you know? Sure. I'll take another passive because I can. Show me by type. It's all those passives. Start with more faith. 22,000 enemies. All training camps sending 18 and a heretic's lair. 22,000. Alright, if we can get through this one, it might be the last. Early Veterans Hall and Belfry is certainly interesting. Training camp, the 18 that they send is hardly going to be the difference maker, and I'm far more worried about keeping the side clean for my building. Okay. I could do this here. Downtown doesn't matter to me much. Like, I'm either going to get these 4 or those 4, and that's about it. Well, hold on. Okay. I now specifically have to get the blacksmith on this tile. So the veterans one has to go there. Then the blacksmith has to go there, and the other veterans hall has to go on top of that. There's the other veterans hall. We need the blacksmith first, though. There it is. So, blacksmith there. Veterans Hall on top of that. We're gonna cut that guy in half. Alright, they didn't get to do very much training that time. Arrows, swords, swords, swords. Okay. We take out that, go down to like 4,000 swords. So we probably want to do the axes into swords first. 3, 6, 8. Against 10,000 swords, 12,000 swords is a lot. Okay. It's getting real close. I'd love fanaticism to... Oh, we can have a third veterans hall. Okay. The question becomes, is a third veterans hall better than a belfry? So the belfry is 1 for every 5. So if we've got 11,148, divided by 5 is 2,229 units. Whereas a veterans hall getting 30%. So remember 2229, 2230. 10,671 times by 0.3 is 3,200. So I would be better off for a round building into 3 veterans halls. The problem is the veteran hall don't contribute to themselves in the next round. So with this way, we've got 2 buildings that contribute to the veterans hall between the belfry and the blacksmith. I guess what we could do, let's go to 28,500 to consider. Axes and swords. We could just take another veterans hall in with us. We don't have to have it touch the blacksmith, but it's an extra 3,000 units. So that's worth considering. Palace of Arms. When this gains units, it gains 200% more. Training camp, Palace of Arms. All right. Hold that. Stick that there. Put that there. Pop you on top. Blacksmith, we just have to hold for a good while. Now, one of our veterans halls can just be played without consequence, which is lovely. Right, that's a second one. I could put this down here, put the blacksmith there, and then hold out for the 3rd building on top. But I don't love how little room we're kind of operating with here. But at the same time, with 2 veteran halls now in play, I don't really get a choice to wait. Well, I can do this. Am I going to do that or this? Let's do this. There's the belfry. If the belfry's here, the blacksmith has to go there. So this spot or this spot needs to be the other hall. There's the other hall. Good. I just have to make sure it gets past these 2 coming pieces. This can go here. That can then go in there. That gets this veterans hall next to the blacksmith. They've got all of that. I should have effed this Palace of Arms and I didn't. I was so busy worrying about geometry. This might be it. Hard to know. Although we do have 3,000 extra units, so that's certainly something. Okay, axes, swords, swords, axes. I have no arrows to take out their axes. I only have axes to take out their swords. 27, 7,000, 127. So we make all of their swords into axes, then drive those axes into our axes. Hold on, what's my brain doing? We make these axes into swords. We drive all of their swords into our axes. I screwed up somewhere. Damn, minus 10,000. Well, we won our high score. 1.952 million points. All right, well, that was a hoot. Thank you guys ever so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.